Aviation. Aviation is the practical aspect or art of aeronautics, being the design, development, production, operation, and use of aircraft, especially heavier than air aircraft. The word aviation was coined by French writer and and former naval officer Gabriel Landel in 1873 from the verb aviar, synonymous flying, itself derived from the Latin word avis bird and the suffix ation. Read about the history of aviation, early beginnings, lighter than air, heavier than air, operations of aircraft, civil aviation, air transport, general aviation, military aviation, types of military aviation, air safety, aviation accidents and incidents, air traffic control, environmental impact. Read about the early beginnings, lighter than air, heavier than air, propulsion, composite materials, synthetic vision. Civil aviation includes all non-military flying, both general aviation and scheduled air transport. There are 5 major manufacturers of civil transport aircraft: Airbus, based in Europe; Boeing, based in the United States; Bombardier, based in Canada; Embraer, based in Brazil; United Aircraft Corporation, based in Russia. General aviation includes all non-scheduled civil flying, both private and commercial. General aviation may include business flights, air charter, private aviation, flight training, ballooning, parachuting, gliding, hang gliding, aerial photography, foot-launched powered hang gliders, air ambulance, crop dusting, charter flights, traffic reporting, police air patrols, and forest fire fighting. Each country regulates aviation differently, but general aviation usually falls under different regulations depending on whether it is private or commercial and on the type of equipment involved. Many small aircraft manufacturers serve the general aviation market with a focus on private aviation and flight training. The most important recent developments of small aircraft, which form the bulk of the general aviation fleet, have been the introduction of advanced avionics, including GPS, that were formerly found only in large airliners, and the introduction of composite materials to make small aircraft lighter and faster. Simple balloons were used as surveillance aircraft as early as the 18th century. Over the years, military aircraft have been built to meet ever-increasing capability requirements. Manufacturers of military aircraft compete for contracts to supply their government's arsenal. Aircraft are selected based on factors like cost, performance, and the speed of production. Read about the types of military aviation: fighter aircraft, ground attack aircraft, bombers, surveillance and reconnaissance aircraft, obtain information about enemy forces. Unmanned aerial vehicles are used primarily as reconnaissance fixed-wing aircraft, though many also carry payloads. Read about missiles, deliver warheads, normally explosives, but also things like leaflets. Read about air safety, aviation accidents and incidents. An aviation accident is defined by the Convention on International Civil Aviation, Annex 13, as an occurrence associated with the operation of an aircraft which takes place between the time any person boards the aircraft with the intention of flight until such time as all such persons have disembarked, in which a person is fatally or seriously injured, the aircraft sustains damage or structural failure, or the aircraft is missing or is completely inaccessible. Read about air traffic control. Air traffic control involves communication with aircraft to help maintain separation. That is, they ensure that aircraft are sufficiently far enough apart, horizontally or vertically, for no risk of collision. Controllers may coordinate position reports provided by pilots, or in the high traffic areas, they may use radar to see aircraft positions. There are generally four different types of air traffic control. Center controllers, who control aircraft en route between airports. Control towers, including towers, ground control, clearance delivery, and other services, which control aircraft with a small distance. Oceanic controllers, who control aircraft over international waters between continents, generally without radar service. Terminal controllers, who control aircraft in a wider area around busy airports. Air traffic control is especially important for aircraft flying under instrument flight rules, where they may be in weather conditions that do not allow the pilots to see other aircraft. However, in very high traffic areas, especially near major airports, aircraft flying under visual flight rules are also required to follow instructions from air traffic control. In addition to separation from other aircraft, air traffic control may provide weather advisories, terrain separation, navigation assistance, and other services to pilots, depending on their workload. Air traffic control do not control all flights. Read about the environmental impact. Like all activities involving combustion, operating powered aircraft from airliners to hot air balloons release soot and other pollutants into the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide are also produced. In addition, there are environmental impacts specific to aviation. Aircraft operating at high altitudes near the tropopause, mainly large jet airliners, emit aerosols and leave contrails, both of which can increase cirrus cloud formation. Aircraft operating at high altitudes near the tropopause can also release chemicals that interact with greenhouse gases at those altitudes, particularly nitrogen compounds, which interact with the ozone, increasing ozone concentrations. Read about aeronautics, aviation, aerospace, and aeronautical terms, environment, impact of aviation, list of aviation topics, timeline of aviation. Read all about aviation, aviation, aviation.